Imagine life in the mid-19th century for a moment. There are no computers. There are no movies. There isn't even radios for music to play from. So, for the 19th century everyday man, what are they to do for fun? Enter billiards, something that in the mid-19th century was one of the most popular amusements. 100 years ago, there was 830 pool halls in the city of Chicago. Today, there are 10. Billiards is not what it used to be, but we continue to live in a world affected by its former prominence. The growth of billiards led to the development of a material that would come to define the modern world. Without billiards, we might never have discovered plastic. How, you might ask? Well, imagine this. In the mid-19th century, when billiards was popular, the material that was used for the balls were none other than ivory. Since going to Africa, shooting elephants, and shipping the ivory was not the cheapest expenditure in the world, the men heading up billiards decided the change was in motion as they wanted the hobby to be more accessible to everyone. So they set out an ad in the paper offering $10,000 or $3 million in today's dollars to anyone who could come up with a suitable replacement for ivory. A tinkerer named John Wesley Hyatt found the ad. Hyatt was a printer, not a scientist. However, in his work he used a number of different chemicals, including nitrated cellulose. When experimenting with the material, Hyatt found that the material turned out to have a very interesting property. In particular, the ability to create a syrupy liquid when dissolved. Using a press, he tried to create a film out of it, leading up to the first ever plastic, called celluloid. Although this did not win Hyatt the prize, he did end up using celluloid as a new type of imitation plastic. From there, many others were inspired by Hyatt creating new types of plastics, such as common petroleum-based plastics in 1907 by Leo Baekeland. Now, we can't go anywhere without seeing the potential of plastics at work. This video will go through all the types of plastic you can encounter in a single normal day in our modern age. Let's start with when you wake up from your bed. In the mattress alone, there are many plastics at play. Just some of these plastics are polyurethane, polyethylene terephthalate, and polyvinyl chloride. Starting with polyurethane, you will see that there are many other uses for this type of plastic. To start, polyurethane, or commonly referred to as PU, is a polymer composed of organic units when joined by carbamate links. Most of the time, this is to make polyurethane foams, as is the case for the mattress. PU foam is also used in memory foam, as is the case with a pillow, but also works in many car interiors, being used in the seats and also providing suspension for the car systems. This is thanks to its ability to be both non-flexible and high resilient. However, as a form of memory foam, this has not been fairly recent use of PU, at least publicly. Interestingly, major production of memory foam did not begin until NASA released it into public domain in the 1980s, even though technology for it existed since 1937. However, another important plastic mentioned is polyethylene terephthalate. This is one of the more common plastics of a group known as polyester. Many of you watching are probably wearing this plastic as we speak. This plastic is one of the most common plastics, accounting for around 18% of all plastic production in the world, with the main reason being its uses in clothing. However, beyond clothing, it is also used in other fabric-like products like sheets and pillows, fabric covers for wires, shoes, and backpacks. Beyond being used for fabric products, though, polyethylene terephthalate can also be used as a plastic for containers. Being an excellent water and moisture barrier, PET as it is also known, is often used for windshield wipers, soda bottles, and toiletry bottles, like soap bottles for instance. Now, let's move on to the final plastic mentioned in the use of mattress. Polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, representing the third most used plastic in the world. This plastic contains good insulation properties thanks to its high polar nature and an excellent thickness without much weight. As a result, this plastic is used in many products at home, with some thin coverage on products like mattresses, pillows, tiles, bathtubs, showers, sinks, instrument panels in cars, car doors, credit cards, and window frames. However, the most common use of this plastic is the covering used on wires. Because of this, they are used in many products requiring wires, like TVs, computers, Additionally, as we see from the image, many uses of PVC revolve around its use for piping. Fun fact, PVC was originally discovered on accident by Eugene Baumann after a flask of vinyl chloride was left exposed to sunlight. Now, after you got yourself out of bed, you, like many people, reach for their glasses. Did you realize that many lenses for glasses are no longer made out of glass, but in fact plastic? The most common of plastics used for glasses is polycarbonate, or PC. Some of the main reasons polycarbonate are favored are thanks to it being strong, tough material that also has the ability for many grades to be transparent. Thanks to its great resistances, PC is also used for many electronic components. As a result, beyond glasses you can find PC in many things, like gaming handhelds, iPhones or phones in general, computers, drawers and shelves in fridges, headlights, water bottles, and CD discs. Fun fact, many people worry about PC in water bottles because they think that they will release harmful levels of bisphenol A, a hazardous material for infants and young children according to the FDA. However, many scientists have since stated that this is not the case. From there, we come to the second most commonly used plastic in the world, polypropylene or PP. This material is widely used thanks to its flexibility and ease in forming tough shapes. As a result, many everyday items are made with PP being at least one part of them. This includes gaming handhelds, phones, chairs, computer accessories like mouse and speakers, fans, parts of toothbrushes, caps for bottles, combs, keychain tags, the interior part of a fridge, carpets, the bumper and chemical tanks on cars, and more. Polystyrene, or PS, is another commonly used plastic around the world. This polymer contains many useful qualities, such as being able to be transparent, its ability to create impervious surfaces that prevent scratches, and in general is just a very tough plastic. These last two traits are especially seen in the popular type of polystyrene known as acrylonite butadiene styrene, or ABS. This type of plastic is commonly seen in electronic casing, such as computer monitors and TVs, keyboards, fridges, cars, dashboards, and home gaming consoles. Polystyrene as a plastic, however, can be seen in many things like CD cases, smoke detectors, scissor handles, and mechanical pencils. Polyamides are often seen in the house as a screen coating for computer and TV screens, being able to produce a reliable coating. Polyamides are also able to protect against moisture, making them a great choice for areas in which you don't want moisture to come in. However, polyamides can also be made into other commonly used plastic, namely nylon 6 and nylon 6,6, both of which are used considerably in clothing. Nylon 6 can absorb water and it's very tough and flexible. As such, it is often used in things such as toothbrush bristles and shoelaces. Nylon 6,6, on the other hand, is really rigid and has a high mechanical strength. As a result, this makes them excellent choice for airbags in cars. Now we move on to the most common plastic used in the world, polyethylene, or PE. This plastic is primarily used in packaging and can be classified into many different categories based on its density and branching. Two of the most common of these categories is high-density polyethylene, HDPE, and low-density polyethylene, LDPE. These two alone make many household items and are constantly seen by us pretty much wherever we go. HDPE is a very durable, strong, and semi-flexible plastic, allowing it to be used for a variety of situations. Some of these uses include laundry hampers, toothpaste tubes, toiletry bottles, soda rings, trash cans, and milk jugs. LDPE is tough like HDPE, but slightly weaker, letting it stretch more and also its ability to hold well against solvents and chemicals. However, the unique characteristics about LDPE is also its ability to be transparent. Some uses of LDPE include trash bags, grocery bags, food wraps, and also Ziploc bags. Some of the more common types of plastics have been seen in this video, but there are also plenty more at play throughout the day, albeit in smaller amounts than their more common cousins. One such plastic is polyethylene glycol, which is helpful in binding water and keeping chemicals locked to something as seen in the common products like toothpaste and mouthwash, shampoo, and soap. Certain rubber-like plastics like polystyrene butadiene styrene or polyisobutylene are both impermeable and useful for things like soles of shoes and car tires, respectively. Silicone rubber is often used as a sealant for tiles and plumbing products thanks to its ability to start as a gel and then cure by absorbing moisture, allowing it to fit into any shape. Similarly is polyvinyl alcohol, which is used in a variety of glues around the house. The microwave also contains some useful plastics, particularly polymethylpentene and polysulfone, both used thanks to their high melting point and great temperature stability. Polyoxymethylene has a great stiffness and is highly resistant to chemicals, and as such is used in a variety of products like a car's fuel system and frame, and also household products like knife handles. Lastly, we have a common plastic seen at the back of some electronics, polyphenol oxide, which is used for its high heat resistance, dimensional stability, and accuracy. All in all, plastics make up a very important part of our lives. Seen here is a graph of the daily plastics that I came across today. Without them, life would be very different and expensive to live in, having to rely on much more luxury items. In this new age of plastics we live in, there is always new and innovative plastics coming out every year. Additionally, we can continue to understand more about the importance of plastics, and we will also continue to make them as safe and applicable as possible. Plastics are here to stay in this world, and as seen in this video, with all of these items, it's hard not to see why.